The international terminal was cluttered with lines of restless travelers pulling suitcases, announcements echoing from overhead speakers, and the soft scent of roasted espresso drifting from a cafe near Gate 12. Amid all the hustle, Elias Vanden, a man whose money always walked into the room before he did, adjusted the cuff of his expensive suit with an air of entitlement. He stood near the VIP entrance, tapping his foot and checking the time as if the airport owed him more efficiency. Then he froze. Across the room, radiant in effortless simplicity, stood Amina Vanden, his ex-wife. His black ex-wife, the woman he once thought would always bend to his world of control and luxury. She didn't notice him at first. She was too focused on adjusting the strap on their 8-year-old son Malik's backpack. She moved with a calm precision, her posture elegant, her presence magnetic without trying. The sight irritated Elias. She looked good, better than she had any right to look after the chaos of their divorce. He forced a smirk onto his face. "Amina," he called out loudly enough for nearby passengers to hear. She looked up, paused, and then offered a polite nod. "Elias." His eyes flicked to the economy check-in line behind her. "Didn't expect to see you in this section of the airport." She replied evenly. "I'm traveling with Malik." In economy, he prodded, voice dipped in condescension. Her expression didn't shift. "We're fine." He chuckled. "You always said you wanted better for him. Glad to see you've adjusted your expectations." Travelers around them exchanged glances. Amina guided Malik forward. "Come, ignore him." But Elias stepped closer, too loud, too arrogant. "I'm just saying, you chose pride over security, over comfort, over me." Amina paused and turned back, not because she cared, but because she refused to let Malik hear lies about her. "You're humiliating yourself," she said quietly. "No," Elias insisted. "I'm stating facts. People like you." A collective gasp rippled through the terminal. A massive shadow passed over the windows. Outside, descending like a floating palace, was an $80 million Gulfstream G800, sleek, silver, and unmistakably private. Passengers pressed against the glass. "Who is that for?" "That's a Fortune 100 level jet. Must be royalty." Amina checked her phone without urgency. Elias sneered. "What, are you fantasizing it's for you?" Then the sliding doors parted. A uniformed private aviation officer, followed by 2 assistants in immaculate white gloves, entered the terminal with purpose. He scanned the crowd, stopped upon seeing her, and approached with a small bow. "Dr. Amina Johnson? Your jet is ready. The pilot sends his regards. May we take your bags?" Elias's jaw dislocated. "Dr. Amina Johnson.
Jet.
Pilot.
Crew."
Malik grinned and handed over his backpack proudly. Amina nodded. "Thank you. We'll follow you shortly." The entire terminal stared. Elias looked like a statue melting under the sun. Amina finally gave him the calm, devastating truth. "We're not flying economy." And then everything he ever assumed about her crumbled in seconds. Elias tried to gather the scraps of his ego from the airport floor. What do you mean, Dr. Amina Johnson?" he stammered. Amina didn't give him the satisfaction of a dramatic explanation. "I finished my PhD 9 months ago." "But you were just a research associate?" She nodded.
"Yes."
"Before you demanded I quit to focus on the home. I rebuilt everything after the divorce." Passengers nearby murmured. "That's impressive. She really leveled up." Elias hated it. He grabbed onto the one thing he still thought could anchor him. "And the jet? Don't tell me you can afford." "I can," she said simply. "But I didn't buy it." He exhaled, relieved, until she added, "It belongs to the Obsidian Institute." His eyes widened. The top medical research foundation in the country?"
"Yes."
"I'm their new director of global programs. They handle all my international travel." Elias swayed slightly as if the floor had shifted. She continued, voice steady, calm, lethal. "I'm heading to Geneva to present findings on neonatal innovations. Malik's coming with me because my schedule aligns with his break." Elias blinked hard. "But you You said you needed help paying bills a year ago. And I managed. I worked. I saved. I didn't need you to rescue me. That's not what I meant. It's exactly what you meant. He tried a different approach. Anger. You could have told me. You didn't want to hear anything from me, she said. You just wanted me to stay small. The aviation officer approached again, with a polite bow. Dr. Johnson, your co-pilot has confirmed your luggage is loaded. More whispers flurried through the terminal. She's really the VIP. This is unreal. Her ex must be dying inside.
He was.
Amina turned to Malik. Ready, baby? He nodded excitedly. Elias felt desperation taking over. Amina, please. Can we talk?
We are, she said.
And I'm done. Then she walked past him, and his humiliation deepened. Elias rushed after her, ignoring the stairs, his polished shoes clicking too loudly against the tiles. Amina, wait. She stopped not for him but because Malik had to tie his shoelace. Elias seized the moment. You can't just walk away after dropping all that on me. Why not? She asked. Because it sounds insane. A private jet? A top foundation? Since when are you giving international presentations? Since I earned the right, she replied. While you were busy underestimating me.
He winced.
She added, you always thought success was only valid when it belonged to you. That's not true, he lied. Amina leveled him with a look that stripped the denial straight off his soul. Yes, it is. He ran a shaky hand through his hair. I didn't know you were capable of all this. That sentence sealed his fate. Amina exhaled, disappointed but not surprised. That's the difference between us, Elias. You needed to believe I was small so you could feel big. Some passengers nodded in agreement, no longer pretending to ignore the scene. The aviation officer checked his watch. Dr. Johnson, the crew is prepped. Amina nodded. We'll be there shortly. Elias tried again. Amina, I'm sorry. For what? For assuming my value came from being your wife. He swallowed hard. I never thought you'd surpass me. She stared at him. That was your first mistake. Believing your worth sets the ceiling for mine. Every word landed like a gavel. Amina turned to Malik. Come on, sweetheart. As they began to walk toward the private gate, Elias reached for Malik's hand. Malik stepped back, moving behind his mother instinctively. Amina's voice dropped to steel. Do not touch him without asking. The terminal went silent. Elias froze. Amina walked away again. And Elias's desperate grasp for control finally snapped under the weight of who she had become. Whispers followed Elias like shadows as he trailed behind her. Why is he still bothering her? She clearly moved on. He humiliated her first. Now he can't handle her glow-up. A security officer subtly drifted closer, monitoring his movements. Amina stopped near the private wing checkpoint, checking Malik's passport. Elias approached, voice trembling with a mixture of anger and regret. You're taking him across the world without telling me? Amina blinked slowly. Elias, I emailed you the itinerary weeks ago. No, you didn't. Yes, she said calmly. I did. And I sent a copy to your assistant, since you never respond to me directly. Elias's face flushed. His assistant often filtered anything he considered not important enough. Oh, he whispered. Amina continued. You didn't read it. That's not my fault. The security officer stepped forward. Is everything okay here? Amina nodded.
Yes.
Thank you. Elias forced a smile. We're fine. The officer didn't step away. Amina handed their documents to the private wing concierge while Elias hovered, feeling more irrelevant by the second. Dr. Johnson, the concierge said warmly, your suite is ready for pre-flight refreshments. Malik's snacks and entertainment tablet are already arranged inside. Malik beamed. They have games, Mommy? Yes, love. Elias stared in disbelief. You get a suite? Before boarding? Yes, she said. It's standard.
For you, he asked.
For people at my level. The crowd behind them murmured again. That must hurt. He thought she'd crumble without him. Look at her now. Amina placed a gentle hand on Malik's shoulder, and began walking toward the private suite hallway. And the crowd parted for her, not him. For the first time in his life, Elias felt what it was like to be on the outside of someone else's greatness. And the contrast was blinding. Elias caught up with her one last time right outside the frosted glass doors leading to the private suite. "Amina, please," he said, voice cracking. "I didn't know. I didn't realize how far you'd come." She turned slowly. "Elias, I didn't come far. I just returned to who I was before you convinced me I wasn't enough." His throat tightened. She continued, "Marriage to you didn't make me smaller. You tried to. And when I finally left, I rediscovered myself." He inhaled shakily. Can I be part of Malik's trip? Maybe meet you both in Geneva?" "You haven't attended a single parent-teacher meeting," she replied. "You forgot his last birthday. You rescheduled your weekend with him for a business dinner." "I know," he whispered. "Do you want to know the real reason this hurts you?" she asked. "Because for the first time, you're forced to confront that I wasn't dependent on you. And now you realize I was never the one holding you back. You were holding me back." Elias's eyes shined with something dangerously close to tears. Amina softened, not toward him, but toward closure. "Elias, I hope you grow. Truly. But your growth won't come through me anymore." She reached for Malik's hand. And that was the moment Elias broke. Not because she left him, but because she finally saw him clearly. And walked away anyway. Amina and Malik exited through the private corridor, where floor lights illuminated their path toward the tarmac. The air smelled faintly of jet fuel and ocean wind. The Gulfstream G800 gleamed like a silver promise waiting for them. Malik tugged her hand. "Mommy, can I see the cockpit?" "Of course, baby. After we settle in." Behind them, Elias stood frozen at the glass divider, watching them walk toward a world he couldn't access, not through money, power, or pride. The pilot stepped forward and bowed slightly. "Dr. Johnson, an honor. Your slides for the Geneva presentation have already been uploaded. We're ready whenever you are." Amina nodded gratefully. Elias could only watch. He remembered the woman he married, curious, brilliant, hopeful. He also remembered all the times he dismissed her ideas, mocked her ambitions, and belittled her dreams. He saw her now, fully formed, powerful, respected. She didn't glow up. She finally got the sunlight she deserved. The jet crew welcomed them aboard with warm smiles. Inside, soft leather seats, a marble countertop kitchenette, and spacious windows made the cabin resemble a luxury apartment in the sky. Malik hopped excitedly into a seat. Amina placed her bag on the table, exhaled peacefully, and looked out onto the tarmac. The terminal glass reflected the image of Elias, still standing, still stunned, still small in a world he once dominated. She didn't hate him. She didn't even pity him. She was simply done. The engines hummed softly as the crew announced readiness for takeoff. "Dr. Johnson," the co-pilot said, "will be departing shortly."
"Thank you," she answered.
Amina buckled Malik's seatbelt. "Mommy," he asked softly, "why does Daddy look sad?" She brushed his cheek. "Because sometimes people don't realize what they've lost until they see what you've gained." Malik nodded, satisfied. The aircraft door closed. The jet began to move. Elias stood helplessly as the $80 million Gulfstream rolled toward the runway, carrying away the woman he underestimated and the child he took for granted. The engines roared. The jet lifted. Amina looked forward, ready for the future she built with her own strength. And somewhere behind her, on the ground, a man finally learned that humbling a woman doesn't make you powerful, respecting her does. The lesson was complete, and she never looked back.